The Arcturian Group Message, June 22, 2014. I am that I am. Say these words aloud and say them silently. Hold them sacredly and secretly in your heart and ponder their meaning. I am that I am. The answer given Moses when he asked God's name is a mystical statement of profound truth available to each and every soul, for all are in and of the only one. Humanhood is not I am, for ego is but an illusory sense of who and what you are, a personhood created from a consciousness of separation. These sacred words resulted in torture and death for anyone voicing them in past times of ignorance, powerlessness, and suppression. I am that I am has been declared by enlightened masters throughout time, but has been overlooked by the unevolved masses, unable to comprehend the depth or meaning of them. It was and still is commonly accepted that this statement applies only to a male God person made in man's image and likeness looking down from the sky. Dear ones, you are ready to embrace the deeper truths, taking them into your consciousness and making them yours. As you sit quietly in meditation or walk alone in a quiet forest, ponder the meaning of I am that I am. Ask yourselves, what do these words really mean? Could they apply to me? Who is this I? Are they true? Note that the words do not say I will be after I meditate for a few more years, or I could be if I would just work harder. They state I am. You are ready for this step, dear ones, the step in which you begin to actually embrace the deeper truth about yourselves and stop dilly-dallying about on the surface of metaphysics. Arcturian Group wishes to address the upsurge of violence you have been witness to lately, and remind you that this is the surfacing of very dense and heavy energies held for centuries in certain areas of the world. What may appear to be backward steps for mankind is actually the activity of ever-increasing light on the long-held shadows needing to be cleared. Energies of the past must be seen as such, the past, old, finished. They must give way to the new, for the only life and power they really have comes from the universal belief in them. This is how evolution works. Try not to focus on violence or the people involved in it, but instead realize that everyone is a spiritual being acting out from their present state of consciousness, many of which are still fully enmeshed in duality and separation. Hold to truth regardless of appearances, not denying them or dismissing them as simply illusions, but remembering how appearances are formed. The material world represents a mind interpretation according to individual and global states of consciousness, world belief system. In the human scene, you see the perfect creations and qualities of divine consciousness through a stained glass window, the colors and formations, your state of consciousness. A consciousness fully aware of its oneness with the fullness of Source will appear outwardly as whatever is needed, not always what you think you need, because divine consciousness, your consciousness when awakened, is complete, harmonious, and whole in every way. When you forget and allow yourselves to resonate with appearances of duality and separation, you add energy and fuel to them, the only substance they have. This is a difficult time for all. Many are suffering, and everyone is feeling the intensity of the new energies while at the same time clearing that which is old and heavy. Do what you are guided to do by way of helping others in the human scene, but first and foremost hold to the truth. This is the way change will come, for the outer scene simply manifests the inner. You are creators but have not realized it. Those who would prefer that you remain in the darkness and ignorance of the past are using every opportunity to spark fear and chaos at this time, but much of that which worked before is no longer working. Try not to buy into ploys meant to feed world fear, and be aware of what is going on. Stay in the stillness of your center when presented with the negativity and violence constantly being broadcast from the media, and do not engage. Be aware, but not continually immersed in the negative stories, for that simply brings your energy field down to that level. It is not easy to break free of the hypnotism of the third dimension. There are many observing your struggles with great admiration for your strength and determination. You are powerful beings of light and are doing a fine job within an energy that does not yet fully support that. You have experienced lifetime after lifetime in third-dimensional energy, and are programmed by these experiences to look for solutions and answers with the mind. You are learning to shift yourselves away from that impersonal universal human mind, filled with every belief of duality and separation, and into a realization that outer pictures, whether good or bad, have nothing real to sustain or maintain them, only belief. This is what is meant by the Bible term seeing through a glass darkly. The manifestations of divine consciousness are always complete and perfect, and embody all its qualities: completeness, wholeness, abundance, joy, etc., etc. But when these ideas flow through the filter of duality and separation, they become something different. The material world is a mind translation of perfect divine ideas. Imagine a bread pan. The dough is your state of consciousness and the bread pan is your mind. The loaf is formed from the dough you put in it. There is only one mind, another profound truth that many will at first resist. Take this truth into your hearts and ponder it. You are more than ready to receive and embrace the deeper truths, to shift out of metaphysics and into mysticism. In the human scene, the one mind, your mind, becomes conditioned by whatever false beliefs you accept. Every belief ever believed is floating in human consciousness, and is never yours personally until accepted. Because of past life experiences, each person has a propensity for particular beliefs over others. Some may be more prone to health beliefs, others more prone to relationship beliefs, etc. It is important not to claim old energies back during your clearing process. For example, you may be clearing cellular memory from the emotional body and re-experiencing some of these emotions. Instead of declaring, "I am so depressed, I am so sad, I am so angry," etc., etc., which will fasten them back to you, recognize that these are simply old energies clearing, and let them go. The world would have you believe that there is a pharmaceutical solution to any and every discord, much to the financial benefit of these companies. Seeking to fix clearing symptoms can give them new life and power and slow the process, but this is not to say you cannot consult a doctor if you are guided to. Obsolete third-dimensional energies of the past cannot be carried with you into the new and higher resonance, no matter how well they may have served in the past. The choice, as always, is yours. As you begin to live out from the one mind which contains within it no false concepts or beliefs, the outer scene will begin to reflect that. Your consciousness will be manifesting clearer interpretations of divine ideas. Do not make the mistake of spending your time looking for results, saying, "Oh, I have practiced and failed." It doesn't work. Change does not happen overnight, and simply having the knowledge of truth is not the same as the consciousness of it. Eons of time and millions of experiences were necessary to develop each state of consciousness into readiness to awaken. First comes receptivity, then the intellectual knowledge, then the practice, and finally a new state of consciousness is born, one which then manifests in the outer as the higher and better forms. Take the profound mystical truths we have given you today into your hearts, dear ones, for you are ready. Examine them, ask your higher selves and guides to help you understand and move into the consciousness of them, and practice. We are the Arcturian group. Channeled by Marilyn Raphael. www.onenessofall.com